Hi everybody, it's Kyla.
And I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, this is Matt.
I think so.
This is Bump in the Night.
Woo!
Alright, so welcome to the third episode of Bump in the Night. I'm joined by my wife again, as you heard in the intro. She got a taste of the creepy and morbid and just couldn't stay away. Don't mind her eyes. If she looks like a crazy alien, she had to get her eyes dilated. So if she looks like she's squinting, it's because she can't see shit.
Definitely not a skinwalker.
She's not a skinwalker. It's been over 3 days. She didn't die, so we're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping before I jump into the topic. First off, I wanted to thank everyone who has already come and listened to the first two episodes. I've been excited to see the support from you guys. It's really cool, so thank you guys. Second, I do have an Instagram set up for the whole podcast that's going to have I'm going to smack you.
I'm sorry.
An Instagram that is set up for this, so go take a follow. Please go follow that. There'll be pictures of kind of the topics that we talked about on the episode. Like for episode 1, there's already pictures of the lovely Pedro Lopez, and I actually haven't posted the Skinwalker one, so I need to do that. And then there's also a YouTube, not 3 yet.
Oh.
We also have a YouTube channel, so if you want to watch our lovely faces, some would say ruggedly handsome in my case. She's giving me the stare down.
Some would say.
Some would say.
Hi, I'm Some.
You can go and watch each episode completely on there. And there will also be some other videos throughout the weeks, reaction videos, things like that. I think that was about it.
Yeah. No, number 3?
I don't think there's a number 3. So, babe, even though you can't see,
I can't see.
We're gonna start. The subject today. I'm gonna set the mood here, the ambiance. I need you to close your eyes, babe.
Well, I can't see anyway.
It's fine. Close your eyes. Okay.
Okay.
Picture it.
I can picture it.
You're walking down a beautiful street. The smell of croissants is in the air. Beignets. You can smell cigarette smoke.
Beignets.
Wine. I don't know if that's a French thing. Beignet. Smell of wine. The sound of corks being popped.
Is this what you think France is like?
It's what France is like. And then you're in that moment, okay? Now imagine that there are 186 miles of tunnels beneath your feet where 6 million Parisians, and yes, that's how you say it, were buried there.
That's a lot.
6 million. So, for those of you that don't know, we are covering the Paris Catacombs, or the Catacombs of Paris, whichever order you want to put it in. We're covering them.
The Paris Catacombs.
Paris Catacombs. So yeah, I'm sure most people have seen pictures of this. It's amazing sculptures, architecture made of just millions of actual human bones. It's kind of terrifying and morbidly amazing, actually.
Yes.
And so
the architecture is amazing and beautiful. Like, if you think that kind of stuff is beautiful, at least, I mean, there's that cathedral that's
and that
also
chandelier and yeah, I'll have
everything.
pictures of all this too.
Also, if people haven't seen it, they should check out the movie.
Oh.
That depicts it all as well.
As above is below.
As above, so below.
Well, and there is actually when we get later on, there is a connection there. There's a connection about that. Where this came from, where that came from, where that movie was inspired from. I didn't know a whole lot about the catacombs, the history of it, hauntings, things like that. I just saw the cool pictures. We've always wanted to go.
Yes.
It'll be definitely a stop if we ever go to France.
When we go to France.
When we go to France. So yeah, we're going to start with just the history, and then once we get through how the catacombs became what they are today, I'm going to go into some of the darker, creepy legends / ghost stories of the catacombs, because Lord knows there's a lot down there. So like I said, it is 186 miles.
Jesus.
You can only go and visit a very small portion of it. Most of it is closed off. Some of it's not even explored.
Oh, wow.
I mean, 186. There's no cell phone reception down there.
Well, duh. You're beneath the city.
I'm just saying,
concrete and pipes and
a ton of the tunnels are flooded, halfway flooded.
Mm-hmm.
There's
as also depicted in the movie.
Dangers of collapses constantly. People have gone missing in these tunnels.
Oh, I'm sure.
People have disappeared. But do you have any idea how they got started? No. So, to get the full history, you have to go all the way back to the Romans.
Okay.
Back when the Roman times. So what became the catacombs was originally an open-air quarry. So what that means is when they needed stones, they would go and they would harvest them. Mm-hmm. They originally made it, for their houses, other buildings, and really the mines really got going when the Middle Ages hit, mm-hmm. because those massive cathedrals that you see in Paris and that type of area,
they're all made of stone.
And a good portion of them came from what would become the catacombs. It wasn't the catacombs yet. So like I said, they would go, they'd get the stones, and in time there was just a massive amount of tunnels that formed from this. Mm-hmm. And of course, as they dug, Paris was also growing. And that's when the two areas kind of collided and caused some issues. So, the city grows and they expanded over the quarries that were dug out, which led to some obvious issues. The constant excavations had left the ground above it very, very weak. So that led to quite a few cave-ins. One of the more famous ones happened in 1777. It's a collapse called, and Jesus Christ, I'm probably going to fail this. I tried to even do a pronunciation thing, and it wouldn't do it.
So I can't.
It is Rue d'Enfer. That's, I believe, how it's pronounced. Rue d'Enfer. If it's not right and somebody knows French better, correct me. I want to know. But this actually caused an entire house to be engulfed. Could you imagine, eating dinner and then just shake, and then all of a sudden you're in fucking catacombs? Well, they're not catacombs
yet. The sad thing is a lot of these collapses resulted in even more deaths.
Yeah. So the worry of collapse was so great that they actually created a position specifically designed to inspect these quarries, and it was called the General Inspector of Quarries, which, as crazy as it sounds, is still in use today. From back in 1777, a position made then is still around.
Well, the catacombs are still around, so
that's fair.
It makes sense that they would still have the position.
I just think it's cool that it was made fucking 300 years ago, 400 years ago?
Yeah.
And, 300 years ago. And
I don't know if you have a section for this in here, but fun fact that I know, did you know that for a while, or on occasion, different types of other people use the catacombs, they used to run phone lines down through there and stuff as well?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, in the movie, when you hear the phones ringing, you can actually hear the phones ringing in certain parts of the catacombs because the phone lines are
interesting.
Older phone lines, like landlines and stuff from back in the day, used to be ran through parts of the catacombs.
That kind of makes sense, though. It's a good tunnel system.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be the telephone dude that's running these lines or working on it. That being said, I have, just so you guys know, I have a massive issue with claustrophobia. I can't even watch videos of people splunking and going in holes and stuff like that without having a large amount of anxiety. It bothers me a lot. My heart quickens, and it's a lot. Even so, I want to go in these catacombs. I wouldn't go exploring.
Most of the parts are not like that.
No, that's not true. In some of the tour guides, things that I read while doing the research, before you get to the actual catacombs area where all that cool architecture is, it's dark. It's not well lit. It's dank. It's absurdly quiet in there because you're underground.
Oh, well, I can imagine.
And that's all I need. That would bother me. I would love it. I would still go, but it would bother me.
We're still going.
No, I would be holding your hand.
That's fine.
And freaking out a little bit. And it wouldn't be for you, it would be for me. Anyway.
I mean, you'd also probably have to hold my hand to keep me from wandering off, too. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie.
Don't do that.
I'm not gonna.
She's the reason I have gray hair. Look at the beard. Gray hair. It's because she stresses me out.
Yay.
Anyway. Like I said, General Inspector of Quarries, which, like I said, is surprisingly a position today. So another issue sadly cropped up at the same time as the collapses. Paris was growing. More people means more dead people. Mm-hmm. There were over 200 cemeteries in Paris. They were filling up.
Oh, wow.
They were overflowing to the point that they would go out there to bury a body and dig and find more decomposing bodies. Oh. Not just one. They were so stacked on top of each other. And it was just such an influx of dead that it was causing issues. To make matters worse, it wasn't only they couldn't bury it, the graves walls, you dig down and the walls of the earth down below, from the sheer amount of weight from the bodies, was becoming too much. And it led to a collapse at one point. So it's the cemetery, it's Cimetière des Innocents, which is in English, Cemetery of the Innocents.
Cemetery. I was going to say that.
Cemetery of the Innocents. It was the largest city in Paris, and when the grave walls gave in, a bunch of bodies just poured into the basement of a local restaurant. You run a restaurant. Could you imagine? That would be the one day that your fucking health inspector would show up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you guys didn't pass. Wow. Why didn't I pass? Well, you do realize there's like a pile of dead bodies in your basement, right? Like, you gotta get that cleaned up before you can serve any more food. Like,
can you imagine the rats?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I mean, the catacombs themselves are full of rats.
Sure.
They're full of rats.
Well, I mean, it's underground. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine.
But I couldn't imagine finding out that the restaurant you ate at had like a cave-in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Goodness.
That wasn't the only issues these bodies were causing. I mean, mass graves are disgusting. They are full of infections and illness. You just mentioned it. They're full of rats that get these diseases and then go off and, I mean, have we heard of the bubonic plague? That's what happens.
Not saying that started because of that.
No. Well, no. not because of the catacombs, but the Black Plague did start because of rats. Technically, it was the fleas on the rats, but it was still the rats. That's what caused the plague. Right. Anyway, different podcast.
Sounded like you were saying.
No.
Wanted to clarify.
Not only that, the infections and the illness, but the smell of the putrefaction, what had to have been that entire era, I would say until the 1900s, the world just kind of stunk.
I can imagine.
Like, literally stunk. Like, just fermented bodies everywhere. That's disgusting. But to me, this is my biggest issue. I can deal with the smell. I can deal with the infections and all that. I'll stay away from the damn mass graves. But what really caused the most issues was the body juices, because you got to think they didn't embalm people like they do now.
Body juices.
There were so many bodily juices that it began to soak through the ground and contaminate the wells.
That's disgusting.
So people couldn't drink the water. I mean, there's no indoor plumbing, so they're just pulling water up out of the well, and it's contaminated with bodily fluids. Fermented bodily fluids. Yummy. Imagine taking a swig of, like, rotten milk, where you get that chunky. Imagine that surprise and that nastiness, but, like, times 100. Because the chunkies inside the water could be somebody.
Stop! Powerade has a new flavor.
Fermented body?
Cannibalism Coke.
So, a solution was devised. The bodies of the overflowing cemeteries would be moved to the quarries. which was the first quarry that they filled in was Jesus, these names. Tombe Isori? I believe it's the quarry of Tombe Isori, which is known as the 14th Arrondissement. These names are hard, I'm sorry. Obviously never been to France. Shut up, woman.
I'm sorry. I wish that I could see so that I could read so I could pronounce them correctly for you. I'm sorry.
To anybody in Paris or French descent, I apologize for my ignorance.
This is so funny.
There wasn't a thing that could help me pronounce it, so I had to take a guess. I'm sorry.
Google Translate?
It doesn't do it in French. Or at least it didn't for me.
Should. Anyway.
Whatever. And so that was the start of the catacombs. So the bones were carried in at night so we wouldn't freak out I was there. So
Yeah.
I was there. It wouldn't freak out the people of the city. The first of the bones were moved April of 1786. And by 1814, the quarries were finally closed, all the bodies were moved over, and 6 million inhabitants were now entombed there. But they weren't, like, pretty and all set up, like, they were just thrown in there.
Yikes.
Until 1814, they were literally just tossed in there willy-nilly. It was just decomposing bodies in these massive quarries.
Can you imagine being the person, like, designated to go down there and clean it up later? Like,
well, we're going to talk about him, actually.
woo! Let's do it.
We're going to talk about him many years after it was done, but my thing is not that there are so many entrances to the catacombs. Could you imagine at that time when there's still just, like, dead bodies lying everywhere? And creepiness, like accidentally stumbling into them and being like, what the fuck? Like, worst nightmare ever.
It would be really easy to, like, get away with, like, murder and stuff back then. Because you would just throw the bodies down there and no one would ever know.
Not even just that, the forensics, there wasn't any. You could get away with anything down there.
The perfect hiding spot is where they're throwing all the other bodies. Where do I do with these dead bodies? Throw them with the other dead bodies.
So, this is kind of off track a little bit, but did you know that ironically the Paris Catacombs are not actually catacombs?
Well, yeah, I mean, you said that they were used for the mining, essentially.
Oh, no, I mean, like, even with all the bodies in there, they're not considered a catacombs. So they were named after the catacombs because of the Roman underground necropolises that were down there. A catacomb is technically a graveyard that is underground, so graves, tombstones, tombs, things like that. The catacombs are technically what is called an ossuary. So that is a place that bodies are shown. So technically, the true name of the catacombs is the Paris Municipal Ossuary.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound as cool as, like, the Paris Catacombs.
It doesn't sound as cool. Yeah.
Where are you going? I'm going to the Paris Municipal Ossuary.
It sounds like a really boring museum.
Where are you going? I'm going to the fucking Paris Catacombs. Woo! Yeah, doesn't roll off the tongue as well. So no. I like the catacombs. Anyway, back to the history. So the catacombs have been open to the public as, like, a tourist thing since 1809.
Jesus.
The first time it was open to the public was July 1st, 1809. And surprisingly, it was a huge hit with the people of Paris.
I bet. People love the creepy.
Well, you say that. But again, we're still not at the point where it's been made into these sculptures. This beautiful monument that you see.
Yeah, but I would imagine that it would be off limits. Like, you're not allowed to go there. Like, people were probably not able to see what they were. So,
it was open. People could just go in there. They changed it and started doing it by appointment only, and eventually got it turned into a museum because the catacombs were getting damaged.
Oh.
There was so much damage of people just going in and out willy-nilly that they had to...
Sadly, in modern days, there's still a lot of damage. People like graffiti and stuff down there a lot. It's sad.
So some of the major people that went and saw the catacombs was Napoleon III.
Really?
Yep. And the Emperor of Austria visited the catacombs.
Okay.
Which, if it's good enough for Napoleon, fucking sign me up. I'm there.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this is where it gets interesting. So Do you know how it became the beautiful, albeit morbid, museum? Because it's actually technically a museum now that we know today.
Well, they had to have sent people down there to break all the bodies down and make the art out of it.
One man.
One man.
I mean, I'm sure other people helped, but it was the vision of one man.
Okay, I was going to say, there's no way that just one person did all that.
Yeah, it's all thanks to a man named, oh god, Hiracart de Thury. I'm sorry if that's wrong. I'm just going to call him Thury from now on, just last name Thury. He was actually the general inspector of quarries at that time, so he held that position.
And apparently an incredible artist.
Yeah, apparently. Like I said, when the remains were originally moved to the catacombs from the graveyard, they were just thrown in there.
I want that job. Make art with bones. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be so cool.
I already bring you dead things instead of flowers.
That's true.
No joke, guys. Here, off track. I'm a pest technician. I find dead things all the time. Married a witch.
Yay.
So, when I find rat skulls and mummified frogs and snake skins, I bring them home.
And I make art out of dead things.
And it's better than flowers to her.
It is. Anyway.
Anyway. So by 1810, Thury had turned the catacombs into what we see today. So it took him about a year, if you can believe that.
I feel like that's such a short amount of time for all of that.
He gathered the bones of the dead and made amazing architecture that we see today. You can see columns, altars, plaques, oddly shaped structures made from bones, the chandelier. I didn't put it in here, but there's actually a guy that helped him out that some of the carvings you see in the catacombs, he just did.
Wow.
Sadly, that was the main thing that was getting damaged a lot, and they had to stop because the carvings were getting destroyed. Anyway, so did you know there's... Well, go ahead.
Do you have something... Did you do research? Do you have something about what is written in the beginning of the catacombs?
I meant to, and then I forgot to put it in here. It's something about this is the kingdom of the dead.
Something it translates essentially is to English close to like, here you enter the kingdom of the dead or something like that.
Yeah, there's a warning. It says do not enter. This is the kingdom of the dead.
Something like that.
I should have written it down, but it didn't fit into my research where it was and all that. But yeah, no, I did see that.
Which is cool.
It is very cool.
That's really cool. Anyway.
Terrifying, but cool.
Yes.
So, did you know that people that choose to go and explore, albeit illegal, but they go and explore the tunnels, they have an actual name? Don't know it.
You told me earlier and I don't remember.
So they're called They're called...
Sorry. We're very off track today.
Cataphiles.
Okay, that would be me.
She's on her own. I'm going to lose my wife because I'm not going cataphiling with you.
I would.
Cataphiling.
You wouldn't let me, though.
Right. No, I wouldn't.
But I would.
I love you.
If I didn't have the restrictions, I would do it.
I don't want you to die. Okay. So
I'm not worried about dying. I'm worried about being thrown into, like, a Paris prison.
Because that is also one of my fears, is dying underground from starvation. That is terrifying to me.
That's why you get a local who knows where they're going.
No.
Okay.
So, like I said, cataphiles are people that go and explore, and they do it illegally because they're not allowed down there, but they go and explore. They find these tunnels, vaults. Some of them explored a massive amount of it, but it's pretty dangerous. There's one man who, he's considered the first of the cataphiles. I don't know if I would count him as a cataphile because he didn't mean to go explore the tunnels. His name is Philibert S. Oh, his last name is hard.
Philibert S.
Philibert S. No, don't make fun of him. He's a ghost.
Oh, sorry, Philibert.
Spoiler alert. We'll talk about his story at the end. He's a ghost. So he's going to come haunt you if you mess with his name. He is not an ass. He is a fine gentleman. Philibert Asparrot. Asparrot? I'm sorry, guys. He
Probably Asperi,
Esprit. Sure.
because a lot of the time they don't pronounce the T.
Oh, Esprit. Sure, we'll go with Filbert Esprit. Aspari. So he was a doorman of a local military teaching hospital, and according to the rumors, he was looking for. He was going to fetch a certain liquor from a cellar, and he accidentally ended up in the catacombs. And sadly, they didn't find his body for 11 years.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He got lost down there, and they didn't find him for 11 years. And the only way they were able to identify him, because 11 years is a long time, you drop the pin, it's fine.
I dropped a safety pin. Don't step on it. Sorry.
It's a thumbtack, and I'm going to find it with my toes. Yeah, 11 years, and the only way he was able to be identified was, put your hands in your lap. Bad girl. He was only identified, I've said this 3 times now, by the keys carried on his belt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so sad times. But like I said, being a cataphile has a lot of risks. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a shit ton of rats down there. Full of diseases. Like I said, I deal with rats. They're gross. Of course, the huge thing is getting lost. There's no cell phone service. You run out of light, it's pitch black down there. She found the pin. Give me the pin. Getting lost down there. And then 2 major risks, like I mentioned earlier, was flooding. Because some of the vaults have already flooded. Not fully, but some of them are halfway. And then, of course, collapses. The areas where people generally go, like the tourists can go, are reinforced really, really well. But there's a lot of the 186 miles that are not reinforced at all. So, yeah. So that's kind of the history. Gives you a nice rundown on things. Now we're going to talk about some of the creepy-ass legends. One of these I specifically did for you because it's about cat skulls.
Oh, cool.
I haven't told her any of these. I told her some of the info above, but I didn't tell her about these.
And also sad.
The cat skulls?
Yeah.
Oh. So many Paris catacomb legends may be true or not, but the story of the cat skulls is guaranteed to give you some chills. It's revealed that a discovery in 1896 was hundreds of skulls inside of a specific group of tunnels. But they weren't human skulls. It's a tunnel completely made out of cat skulls. Which is like your wet dream.
That's so cool!
She loves cat skulls. I don't know if you can go to it on the tour. Aww. It would be so cool if you could. But cat skulls.
So that's interesting then. So like when they were throwing all the bodies down there, so did they just throw the dead animals down there too? Are there other animal skulls that are down there? Is it just cats?
Here's where it is.
Uh-oh.
It seems that the catacombs shared a well with a nearby restaurant.
Oh no.
Undoubtedly run by a screwed up dude who apparently liked to pass off feline meat as rabbit meat.
No!
Yep. Apparently cat and rabbit tastes about the same. I looked it up. Apparently they taste a lot alike. So you're over here dining on rabbit and instead you're dealing, eating somebody's cat. So his way of disposing of all these carcasses to hide his debauchery was by throwing the cat bodies in the well. When the well dried up and they did the remodel and all that, they found all the cat bodies.
Probably hundreds and hundreds of cats.
Made a cat skull tunnel. Fucked up origins, really cool tunnel.
Oh my gosh. Like, that's absolutely horrible, and I hope that guy is just burning in the pits of fucking hell. But
why does he deserve hell for kicking cats? It's just meat.
Yeah, but he's just killing this. No.
I'd eat a cat.
That.
Biddles is too skinny, so she's safe. I like Lucifer. I'd eat a cat. I'd eat a dog. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this is the as above, so below legend.
Okay.
A group in 1990, a group of cataphiles, were walking through the dark chambers of the cemetery, or of the catacombs. They happened upon a video camera that was laying on the ground.
That's cool.
To their surprise, the camera had footage on it. As the group watched the footage, they heard disturbing noises. It became apparent that the man holding the video camera was lost and had no idea how to escape. And in the video, the audience was clearly drawn to the man going mad inside of the underground network of tunnels. He was going insane.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
If you were trapped and you were freaking out, like, that's...
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to what we talked about earlier. One, I'm not wandering off because I'm a fucking coward. I'm claustrophobic, and I have a fear of dying underground like that, so my ass is never going to be in that predicament. I might lose my wife that way because she's fucking insane, but that's fine. At least she's pretty. Insane, but pretty.
I feel like in the last 2 episodes, just this episode of the Skinwalker episode alone, like...
You've been called out a little bit.
Our viewers are going to think that I'm just fucking insane.
Well, no. We all have... Everybody has decided you are the crazy goth girl, and I'm your golden retriever gamer boyfriend or husband.
Yeah.
I have to level you out. I have to level you. Babe, you're up here. I need you down here. That's where I need you.
You keep me from becoming a skinwalker or going off into the catacombs and, from having fun. But, you keep me safe. You keep me safe.
Having fun?
What?
If it were up to her, she would literally be a skinwalker going into the catacombs. A skinwalker witch. Well, I guess skinwalkers technically are witches.
You say that the skinwalkers go off to like a cave or something to do the rituals. Well, the catacombs could be my cave.
Yeah, but who are you going to kill? We're talking about catacombs.
Anyway, yeah, we're really, really off track today.
So what's even more terrifying is the video just ends with the man dropping his camera on the ground and just him stumbling off into the darkness.
Oh my gosh.
To this day, no one knows who he was, or if he made it out alive. We don't know. But many believe that the movie As Above, So Below was inspired by this tragedy.
Makes sense.
For those of you who have not watched As Above, So Below, I had not seen it until this one came into my life. It is a very good movie.
It's weird. It's different. I would almost...
a cult classic.
Yeah. I would almost borderline say it's like almost kind of a B-rate movie.
It's a Blair Witch Project style movie.
Yeah.
It's video cameras, and it literally...
can be hard to watch for some people, but honestly, it's so good.
I mean, a brief rundown, it follows a group of people who descend into the catacombs looking for the Philosopher's Stone, and they find themselves in hell.
Yeah.
Through the catacombs, and they have to face their various fears to make their way back to the surface. It's really, really good. You need to watch it I would say 4 or 5 times to catch all these references and these cool things. And it's one of her favorite movies, and it's turned into one of mine. So if you like the catacombs, definitely go check it out.
What I like about it too, though, is it doesn't just randomly pull they go into the catacombs and randomly stumble upon hell.
Yeah, it's all very lore based.
It's very, very lore and logic, and it's very intellectual, and it's based off of philosopher type facts and things that people actually used to believe.
Well, and Nicholas Flamel, who was a real person, you can visit his house
in Paris,
and he is, everything they pull together makes sense. It's a really good movie. So if you guys haven't watched it, go watch it.
Ancient alchemy and the beliefs of those people. So it's intellectually based, and it's really interesting and very cool. Anyway, go watch it.
Yeah, no, it's super good.
Right now.
So right now.
And the podcast, go watch it. Just kidding. Finish this first. I'm kidding. Finish this first because we're awesome, and then go watch it.
So we're gonna bring it back to Espierre. Filbert. So he died during the French Revolution. So a man named, I already named him, so I'm dumb.
What is it? Filbert?
It's Filbert. So like I said, he was going to get some liquor from the cellar. He somehow ended up in the catacombs, and he got lost. So walking around in the pitch black catacombs alone with just one candle.
Oh gosh.
He became very lost and obviously very confused. Many believe he may have been intoxicated at the time, which would make sense because I don't know how you couldn't just like. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go get some more beer. I'll be right back. Why are there fucking bones everywhere? What the fuck? You know what? With my one candle, I think I'm just going to keep wandering down this random tunnel full of bodies. No, fuck that. If you're not intoxicated, you're going to be like, oh, fuck this shit, and turn around. Fucking, oh, okay, here's all
Unless
the booze.
you're me.
Unless you're you, then you're like, ooh, playground. And then we never see her again. And then we find her body 11 years later, only identifiable by her fake eyelashes. I just called you out. I'm sorry.
You're an asshole.
Sorry. That was a terrible laugh. What the fuck was that? It just...
Karma.
Love you.
No.
Anyway, so sadly, his candle blew out, and he was trapped in pitch black. And at this point, it was literally impossible for him to escape. And like I said, his body was found 11 years later by a group of cataphiles. He was eventually identified by the hospital rings along his belt. What's really, really, I think, cool, he's actually buried in the catacombs.
Nah.
There will be a picture of his...
You were stupid. You died down here. You stay down here, motherfucker.
No. They made a really cool, like, honoring him. It's a carved tomb.
Oh, that's really cool.
And they put his body in it, and it's sealed up. It's a stone tomb, and then they've got a plaque over it that explains what happened to him. I'm gonna put that picture on Instagram because it's a really cool picture. So it's kind of cool that I think it's cool. Like, if you're gonna die and get buried, I would be cool with being buried down there like that.
Heck yeah.
That being said, they do say that every November 3rd, which I couldn't find what the November 3rd represented. I think it's when they found his body. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure. They say that you can see his ghost wandering around the catacombs.
With a candle?
I'm assuming.
I know when we're visiting Paris!
November 3rd. It's the day after my dad's birthday. I don't know why I said that, but it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Dad.
We're going to Paris.
Yeah, we're going to Paris.
Without you.
I think that's terrifying, but also at the same time, it's really, really cool.
You know, I would imagine, though, that you say it's terrifying, but to me, I don't view every single ghost and spirit as bad.
I don't think he's bad.
If he does wander and if he is down there, and, you know, if for those who actually believe those kind of things, it is sad. And maybe because he got lost.
Maybe he's still lost.
Well, either he's still lost, which is also equally sad, or he uses his candle to help lead other people that are lost back to safety.
I get that.
Wandering souls, whether they're dead or alive. Maybe he acts as kind of a guide.
Here's the thing. I agree with you to a point that he's not hostile. It's not like It's not like he's a poltergeist or something that's going to scratch you or shit like that.
Like who knows?
It's terrifying because what's terrifying to me is if he died like that and his soul is trapped down there like that.
Yeah.
That idea of being stuck, lost in the dark for all eternity, that's hard to wrap your mind around.
I mean, that's just sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. But on your remark about not all spirits are bad and all that, I agree. But either way, if I wake up and my dead grandma is standing at the end of my bed, may not be scary or like terrifying. I'm still gonna shit my pants because this is a dead person standing at the end of my bed, and if they just go poof and gone, like we're gonna have to change the sheets because I will have wet the bed, grandma or not. Fucking wet the bed.
Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it's scary.
That's why I will not mess with Ouija boards. And I will not mess with seances. Because I feel like those are ways to open doors, although a seance in the catacombs would be really terrifying.
That would be not very smart. Unless you're super, super trained.
Well, that's my thing, is I'm afraid that you open that door and you can't close it right.
You got to be confident in yourself and your knowledge and your ability to do these things before you even do it.
And my fear is, again, if I wake up and Grandma's at the end of the bed, obviously I'm going to be terrified, but at least she's mine. You know, I don't want to... yeah, that's fair. She could be something looking like her.
Maybe.
That being said, I don't want to bring something home that isn't mine.
Yeah.
If I see a shadow figure at the end of the bed, I'm going to be a lot scared, more scared. Stroke. A lot more scared of that than I am of a dead relative.
Can I bring home a cat spirit from the catacombs?
Jesus Christ. This is what I live with, guys.
That'd be cool.
So this is the last little bit, and this is probably the most, to me, the most horrifying legend of all. The legend says that if you are inside of the Paris Catacombs after midnight, the walls will literally begin to speak to you. Disembodied voices will try to persuade you to venture deeper and deeper into the catacombs until you can't find your way. Why are you getting excited?
That sounds so cool!
No, it doesn't! Voices creep me the hell out. I don't care whose voice it is. I don't want any disembodied voice talking to me. I don't want it. Maybe this podcast is showing me that I have a lot more fears than I thought I did. You're scary. I'm a coward.
Oh, goodness. I wonder, when do they stop doing tours? Do they do tours after midnight?
I don't think so. I think it said like 10 p.m. was the latest.
Aw.
I'm assuming there's probably later ones for like Halloween and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, why would they not? That's just an amazing money opportunity right there.
But I don't want the walls to talk to me. I don't want it. I don't want it. Especially walls that are fucking made of skulls. No.
Can you imagine the stories that they could tell, though? The things you could learn? How old they are?
Stories. Yeah, I was old. I was born in 1777. The world stunk real bad. Our cemeteries were filling up, and then when I died, they just threw me in the catacombs, and then they made my body into art. No. I don't want that. I don't care what they can teach me. They're dead. They're disembodied, and they didn't say they're like, "Hi, Kyla, how are you doing today? Welcome to the catacombs."
No, they're trying to lure you
"Come deeper. Come deeper. Oh, now you're lost. Fuck you."
I doubt it's like that.
No, I bet it is. No, it's like South Park. Haha, fuck you.
Haha, fuck you, except it's French, so
Oh, oui, oui. I'm sorry, I just insulted an entire nation.
That was bad. That was really bad.
I said Bengay earlier.
You did say
instead of what was it supposed to be? A beignet. A beignet instead of we need Bengay.
You are an uncultured swine.
Yes, I am. Got a problem with that? You married me.
Apologize to the French
I'm
language.
sorry, French language. I am an ignorant American.
Yikes.
Who should be flogged.
Yikes.
I'm sorry. Anyway, back to the catacombs. They're creepy, they're cool. That's the history of it. I had no idea before I started researching this how they came to be. And so it was super interesting that it literally starts back in Rome. Roman times.
Well, even still modern days, they're still dealing with, the potential cave-ins and stuff too.
Yeah. 186 miles of tunnels that the city is built on, that it's not the most stable. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed exploring the catacombs. This one was suggested by her.
I love the catacombs.
Loves the catacombs. By the way, as far as suggestions goes, that was the third thing I was going to say earlier and I forgot. We do have an email, which you can find in the links. Please, if you guys have something that you guys want us to talk about, let us know. I would much rather talk about things that you guys want to hear about than just random things that I think are cool.
Certain serial killers, cool, creepy places,
Cryptids, ghosts, hauntings.
Creatures.
I want to hear what you guys think. Oh, damn, and this was the other thing. Reviews. I would love reviews from you guys. Follows and reviews for how we're doing and what you guys think of it. The more reviews I get, the better off the podcast is, and the more we can do.
Yep.
So that's it for the Catacombs. I'm not sure what we're gonna do next.
I think we should go back and do another creature.
Or serial killer.
Or I guess serial killer.
Or conspiracy. I was kind of thinking alien abductions. Because there's a lot to that.
So broad.
And there's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Unless one of you guys give me a better suggestion, we're going to work on that. I'm not going to post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday like I was planning on. We're going to just do Monday and Friday so I can do a little bit more details, research-wise, and not feeling as rushed. But on Wednesdays, I'm going to try and do something on the YouTube channel, so definitely check those out. So, anyway, thank you for listening. Go ahead.
I'm also kind of curious because you and I are very, not opposite, but back and forth about it. Like, you want to visit the catacombs, but you only want to do it in, very, guided way. I, given the opportunity, would love to explore it. I want to know what you all think of the catacombs. Like, would you go down there? Would you not go down there? Why or why not? I'm really curious about that because I'm super passionate about them, and I want to know what other people think about them. So comment about that, please, because that's super interesting to me.
Yeah, leave us a comment, either Instagram or, you can leave it on the video, or the video on YouTube or on the podcast itself. I will respond to all of the comments on there. So, thanks again, guys, for listening. Hopefully Kyla will be staying around 100% from now on.
We'll see.
She's going to.
I'm not a big serial killer person, so maybe not those ones. But...
You will.
You will. Okay.
All right, guys. See you later, Night Owls. And till the next episode.
Bye.